All right, guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about student loans. A couple words about student loans at the outset. Now, I realize that probably the majority of you are not looking at taking out student loans. Maybe you're past that stage, right? You've already gone through college and you either have them or you don't, or somewhere in between. But just a note here on student loans in general and kind of the crisis that America is in with trillions of dollars in student loan debt outstanding. Going to college is a business decision and it should be treated as a business decision. And so the college that you go to, the costs associated with that, and the degree and the outlook for employment in that career should all be factors when deciding how much student loan you should take out. So just a word there, it's a business decision. You have to approach it that way. If your salary or your expected income is not going to be very high, then you shouldn't take out a lot of loans to get to that career path. Find a cheaper way to do it. Okay. There's public colleges, there's community colleges. All of these things can work to lower the cost overall of college so that based on your expected income after graduation, the loan is actually reasonable to pay off. Okay. Higher education is still important. It's still correlated with a ton of statistics around the wealthy. If there's causation there or not, there's a lot of studies and a lot of different opinions there, but it's a business decision. So some of you may be thinking about grad school. A number of my clients I've worked through the same situation with, right? Maybe they want to go back and get an MBA or a different post-grad degree. And they're like, hey, is it worth, not working for a couple of years to go spend this money and get this? These would be the loans. It's a business decision. So approach it that way. Look and see, okay, how much in loans would I have to take? How much is it going to cost me? What's the income that I'm expected to earn after graduation? Like what's probable? Not what you hope to earn, but what is just look at the numbers. Okay. Average income is probably very reasonable. And if you do above that, then great, but don't bank on it. So run the numbers of cost and income, see how long it would take to pay off those loans and what the burden would look like. Okay. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it just doesn't make sense. Totally possible. Maybe you have to adjust course. Maybe it makes sense. Then great, do it. There's other considerations besides financial, but leaning too heavily on those puts a real significant burden on you financially. Okay. I just spoke to somebody that went to a small liberal arts school and got a liberal arts degree. I like the liberal arts. I graduated in those, but their degree cost them more than 6 figures of debt. And for their degree, it was not worth it at all. And they told me that it just wasn't worth it. So you have to be really selective and be very smart about that decision. Okay, so when we talk about repaying student loans, the conversation comes back again to some of the principles we talked about. What is the interest rate on these loans? Some federal subsidized loans have lower interest rates. They're subsidized to give you a lower interest rate. Some are unsubsidized, so the interest rate is more comparable. There's some private loans that are higher interest rate, 8-9% for those. And so what you need to do is you need to obviously look through all of your loans, see what's outstanding, look at the different interest rates and look at the payment amounts. And then what we need to do is kind of look towards a payoff plan. There are a lot of different payment methods. You can do income-based repayment or standard payment or earn as you go. There's a lot of different ones. You kind of throw all those out the window and just decide a plan that works for you. Okay, you want to get out of the student loan debt. Let's just make a plan to get there. So we're going to look at a debt payoff calculator here to kind of look through some of the scenarios with student loan payoff. But again, how much you put towards the loans versus how much you invest, that's the balance we're trying to strike here. It really depends on interest rates and your own personal risk tolerance and how much you hate your student loans and want to get rid of them. Okay. So let's take a look at this debt payoff calculator and look at some numbers.
Plan well, borrow wisely.